Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn to find the vertices of a hyperbola. And there are always two vertices, and they're the two closest points of the two hyperboles that are symmetric about the center or their center, right? Now, I wrote the equation of this one because I want to emphasize something. When the x squared is positive, when the leading term is x squared, then it's opened to the left and to the right. If it had been a y squared minus an x squared, then it would be opened up and down. Since it's open left and right, what we do is we find the center, because I'm doing this because in later ones you're just going to get the equation. The center, since there's no horizontal or vertical shift, is 0, 0. And then what you're going to do is you're going to always add and subtract the a value. Now, the a value is not always the largest this time. It's the one that's underneath the positive term, or that leading x squared or leading y squared term. It's not the minus term, it's the positive term. And I square root it, and what that does is that gives us this distance right here. The square root of 36 means I'm 6 units to the right and 6 units to the left of the center to find the vertices. And the vertices aren't up and down from the center, so I don't change the y value. I just have a negative 6, 0, and I'm going to type those in here. So I have a negative 6, 0 for one vertice and a positive 6, 0 for the next vertice. Now, again, this one here, you would actually see it as a y squared over 4 minus an x squared over 16. Y squared, now that's opened up and down rather than left and right. And again, this is my a squared, not the 16. This is my a squared. And again, since there's no horizontal or vertical shift, my center is 0, 0, and my vertices are going to be found the square root of 4, or 2 units above and below the center, because it's the y term that's first. So again, my center 0, 0. I go 2 units up. I find one of my vertices at 2. Actually, that's 0, 2, because the x isn't changed, 0, 2, and the other one is at 0, negative 2. So make sure you do your x value first. So I'm going to now jump ahead because you've seen me do a few of these. And again, the graphical ones are very, very easy to find, right? Here's the one vertex. So you type in that point. Here's the other vertex. So the graphical ones are very easy. It's when we get to the ones that are just equations that you're going to struggle with, like this one. So the first thing I want to emphasize is quickly write down the center. Since there's no h or k value, or no shift in the x or the y, my center is 0, 0. And then what I'm going to do is say, what's my leading term? My leading term is an x squared. That means my vertices are going to be to the left and to the right of my center, which means I'm going to be adding the square root of this value of 25. What's the square root of 25? It's 5. So I'm going to add and subtract 5 to the x value, and those will be my vertices. So I have negative 5, 0, because my y doesn't change, and 5, 0. Okay, I'm going to again jump way ahead here to something a little harder. That has a shift in the center, but I actually want to do one with a double shift. I mean, it has both a horizontal and a vertical, like this one. So again, the first thing I'm going to write, they even give square option for square roots. But the first thing I'm going to write is I'm going to write down the center. What's the center? The center is 6, 9. So there's my center. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my a value. My a value is always the square root of the leading term, the one that's positive. My a value would be 2. What I'm going to do now, since it's x, it's open left and right, I'm going to add and subtract 2 from this value. So my one vertex would be 4, 9, because that's minus 2. The other vertex would be 8, 9. And that is a horrible 8. So now I can type that one in. So I type in 4, 9, and 8, 9. They give us the option for a square root because I'll bet some actually might end up being a square root. Well, I'm hoping that, yeah, let's do this last one here. This last one here has the y term first. So we're going to be up and down, opened up and down. But still, what's the center? The center has a x. Now, be careful here, an x value of 6 and a y value of -10. And then I'm going to square root that leading number, the term that's positive. Square root of 16 is 4. So I'm going to add and subtract 4 to the y value because it's underneath the y. I'm not going to change this x value that's supposed to look like a 6. So I come over here. My x values are 6 for both vertices, but my y values are -10 -4. For some reason, I do the lower one first. And then the higher vertex is -10 plus 4, which would be -6. Hopefully this makes sense. If you have any questions at all, please contact me and I will help you as much as I can.